was a pretty exciting way to start a season, wouldn't you say? That great run of fall lows. The Chargers in their first year won the Western Division Championship. They placed 5 men on the All-League team. Barron Hilton and Sid Gilman gave the Charger fans a championship team right off the bat. So if we may, let's turn back the pages of 1960 and take a look at a really exciting football team in action. A new league, 8 new teams, the beginning of an era as the American League football fans sit back to await the action. September 10th, 1960, the new American Football League became a reality. For on that night, the Chargers played host to the football team that was considered the best in the new league, the Dallas Texans. One of the finest faking quarterbacks in football today, Jack Kemp shows his artistry as he unleashes a 46-yard touchdown pass to end Ralph Anderson. Anderson, a great competitor. One of the outstanding offensive ends for the Chargers is Royce Womble, shown here on the receiving end of an 11-yard completion. Kemp shows his versatility. Finding no one to pass to, he elects to run and picks up 6 yards. Another versatile man in the Charger backfield is their great running back, Paul Lowe. Here, passing complete to Anderson for 24 yards. Again, Jack Kemp shows his lightning reflexes. He rolls out on this play around his left end for 7 yards, and watch him drive for that 6 points. The Chargers now threatening deep in the Texans' territory. Kemp fires a 15-yard bullet to Anderson, who fights for 5 more tough yards. On a great third down call situation, Kemp throws a touchdown strike to fullback Howie Ferguson. Is Coach Gilman happy? I'll say so, and the Chargers win their league opener 21-20. On September 18th, the Chargers took their first league road trip deep to the heart of Texas to Houston to play the Oilers, who were favored to win the Eastern Conference crown. A false start here, almost. Back in time. Then Kemp cocks his arm and fires to Womble. Good for 25 yards and a touchdown. And for the moment, gloom hangs heavy over Houston. Former All-Pro halfback Ron Waller hauls in a Jack Kemp pass that's good for 23 yards. Another favorite Kemp target is Don Norton, the All-American from Iowa, who takes this 14-yard toss and fights toward the land of 6 points. The Oilers, expecting a run, are fooled as Kemp pitches to Anderson in the end zone for 6 points. And the Houston crowd wonders about this Charger team. Picture of perfection. Kemp drops straight back and throws a strike to end Howard Clark. Clark never breaks stride as he rambles for a 50-yard pass completion with a gentle assist from Charlie Flowers. A skilled master at his art, Kemp this time hits Royce Womble on the 7-yard line, and the ex-North Texas State star strikes gold in the Oiler end zone. And at this time, the Chargers don't even mind that Houston humidity. Kemp hits halfback Charlie Flowers up the middle, and the former Ole Miss All-American literally runs away from the defensive team for a 55-yard scoring play. Although quarterback Jack Kemp had one of his best days, the Oilers win the ball game by a score of 38-28. There it is. The Chargers continue on their initial road trip as they head east to meet the Buffalo Bills without the services of Jack Kemp, who is benched with a shoulder injury. Kemp's understudy, Bobby Clatterbuck, destined to be the star of the day, leads the Chargers out of the huddle. Aided by a key block from guard Fred Cole, Clatterbuck connects to Lowe on a 19-yard screen pass. With no score in the second quarter and the Chargers threatening, Dave Kasurik outmaneuvers the Bills' defensive back to catch an 11-yard scoring shot. The Charger defensive unit was a standout today. Here linebacker Paul McGuire picks off a Tommy O'Connell pass and sets up a Charger score. Fullback Howie Ferguson gets the call, answers the phone, and gets 6 points for the visiting Chargers. Quarterback Bobby Clatterbuck, calling a brilliant game, now goes from the 7-yard line and sends fullback Charlie Flowers bolting through the line for 6 points. And the Chargers' first Eastern invasion is a successful one as they down the Buffalo Bills by a score of 24-10. That's the final. Following a humiliating 35-0 defeat by the Boston Patriots, the Chargers once again take to the road, this time stopping in Denver to meet the Broncos. Again, the versatility of quarterback Jack Kemp and halfback Paul Lowe comes to the fore as they combine to net the Chargers 56 yards. Look at that low run. Watch number 68 and 87 now on the next play. Orlando Ferrandi and Howard Clark throwing the key blocks to enable Lowe to jitterbug into the promised land. Touchdown. Kemp lays aside his famed bullet pass as he throws a perfect floater to Lowe, good for 24 yards. The grand old man of football, Booten Ben Agajanian, kicks a 47-yard field goal to further solidify the all-around offensive structure of the Chargers. With Orlando Ferrandi showing him the daylight. Paul Lowe tears away from a would-be tackler, and with Fred Cole riding shotgun, gallops into the Bronco end zone. And the Chargers win a close one over the Denver Broncos by a score of 23-19. Days later, the Chargers meet the team that had humiliated them by a 35-0 score, the Boston Patriots, with a 3-3 record. The Chargers have to find winning ways in order to stay in contention for the Western Division Championship of the new American Football League. Today, October 28th, filled with the spirit of Halloween, Kemp once again scares the opposition with a 19-yard aerial to Howard Clark. Kemp this time without going into the cup. Fakes the handoff, rolls out to his left, and fires a 27-yard completion to Ralph Anderson on the Boston 1-yard line. Beautiful catch by Anderson. 1 step back, 3 steps forward, and Kemp is in the Boston end zone for a touchdown. One of the defensive backfield coach's Jack Faulkner standouts is Dick Harris. Here he intercepts one of Boston quarterback Butch Sanganzarios and runs all alone, unmolested for 42 yards into the end zone for a Chargers score. With our cameraman trying to dodge the ever-present light standard, quarterback Jack Kemp calls the signal. Hands it off to Paul Lowe on the fleet halfback from Oregon State. Runs untouched 76 yards for the 4th Charger touchdown of the evening. Once Mr. Lowe gets a yard, there's no catching him. One of the unsung heroes of the Chargers, Howie Ferguson, rated by Coach Gilman as football's best blocking fullback, takes the pitch out here and rambles 25 yards. The Chargers' most explosive runner, Paul Lowe, again shows his ability to break tackles, this time romping 69 yards before finally being pushed out of bounds by a Patriot defensive man. The run sets up a Charger field goal. To finish off the Boston Tea Party, Kemp serves. Ralph Anderson pours into the end zone for 6 points. And the Chargers win their 2nd straight, defeating Boston 45-16. Gilman goes to Gotham. Having won 2 in a row, the Chargers are the guest of Sammy Baugh's New York Titans. This is the last of a 3-game road trip, and by winning this one, the Chargers can go home in first place. And here's a break for the Chargers. Jack Kemp at quarterback. Rolls out to his right. Throws long. The ball bounces off of a Titan defender into the hands of Dave Kasurik for a 52-yard gain. Fullback Howie Ferguson drives over right guard for the touchdown. Noted for his bullet passes, Kemp fires one to Kasurik this time, and Dave bulls his way for 18 yards. A coach's dream, this play, a play designed to go all the way, and it works to perfection as Paul Lowe hightails it right through the middle of the New York line and goes 62 yards untouched. Middle linebacker Charlie Bruckman shows his alertness as the Chargers' Red Dog New York quarterback Al Doro causing a Titan fumble with Bruckman recovering. Now watch Kemp's wizardry as he fakes to the halfback. Throws the Titan line off balance and scoots 17 yards to the New York 1-yard line. Beautiful fake. Kemp survived that crash. Now lunges over for 6 big points. And the Chargers win their 3rd straight, beating New York 21-7. The Chargers return from a successful road trip, winning all 3 on their way and finding themselves in a first-place spot in the Western Division. Playing on a curious mixture of sawdust and turf, Kemp finds his way back to the cup while Anderson finds his way into the open. Result, 34 yards and a touchdown. Here's the surprise package of the American Football League, All-League quarterback Jack Kemp. Defensive halfback Doyle Nix sets up a Charger offensive march, this time by intercepting George Blanda's pass. The tragic death of Ralph Anderson shocked sport fans across the nation. Here Ralph is shown in one of his many past receptions, followed by a close-up with Coach Sid Gilman. Blocking personified, Kemp has all the time in the world this time to pick out a receiver. Spots Howard Clark and zeroes in for 20 yards. Ouch, that hurt. The two sides of Paul Lowe, the players' view, the fans' view. And any way you look at it, Mr. Lowe is hard to catch. Here he rambles for 40 yards. And that's what makes an all-league halfback. After a brilliant run deep into Houston territory, the honors should go to Paul Lowe, and they do. Touchdown, Chargers. Youth was not served today as 41-year-old Ben Agajanian kicks a 22-yard field goal, the margin of victory, and the Chargers become the first team in the new American Football League to win 4 games in a row. Final score, Chargers 24, Oilers 21. After winning 4 in a row, the Chargers were soundly trounced by the Buffalo Bills. Their next outing was against the Oakland Raiders. A fake to Ferguson, a short flat pass, and Paul Lowe does the rest as he races 23 yards. From our field camera, Kemp slips to one knee in the muddy going, but fires complete to end Don Norton, good for 7 yards. Now watch Howie Ferguson batter his way for that touchdown. So the Sawdust Bowl is a happy one for Los Angeles fans. Here's a quick shot of Paul Lowe skirting his left end. Good for 11 yards. Behind a wall of dark jerseys, Jack Kemp climbs over for the touchdown. With Howie Ferguson's block leading the way, springing Paul Lowe into the open, the Chargers rack up another 20 yards. Oh, how a running back loves those blockers. Now, once again, it's Paul Lowe's signal, running inside this time, and it's good for 6 points. Sid Gilman greets his great runner as he comes off the field. Oakland quarterback Vito Babe Pirelli sees the quarterback's nightmare take place as Doyle Nick intercepts and returns for a touchdown. The Chargers get back their winning stride, 52-28 over the Oakland Raiders. And the big scoreboard shows it. The next Sunday, the Chargers travel north to play the Oakland Raiders for the second week in a row. This game is played in Candlestick Park, the new home of the San Francisco Giants. Halfback Paul Lowe has an outstanding day. Here once again, Lowe shows his speed as he busts through the middle, virtually untouched, and races 45 yards before being dragged out of bounds. It's Occidental to Wisconsin now. Kemp to Kasurik, and the play nets the Chargers 27 yards. Another great Big Ten end, Don Norton from Iowa takes a Jack Kemp aerial. This one good for 21 yards and a touchdown. Jack Kemp once again is having a great day. Time he threads the needle to Dave Kasurik. This one good for 30 yards. Now watch this great play by Kemp. Being rushed badly, he still gets his pass away, hitting Paul Lowe, and the speedy halfback goes the rest of the way for 6 points. Showing no favoritism for his receivers, Kemp hits Norton. Don makes a brilliant catch between 2 Oakland defenders. Quarterback Kemp now on a rollout. Goes around right in. And runs the remaining 6 yards for a touchdown as the Chargers pull away from the Raiders. The linesman's dream to score a touchdown. Just watch as Oakland quarterback fumbles. Linebacker Rami Loud gathers up the pigskin. And there goes Rami all the way to the lineman's dream of scoring 6 points. The Chargers, assured of a tie, can wrap up the Western Division crown of the American Football League with a win over the Denver Broncos. The Chargers rolled early. Kemp passes to fullback Howie Ferguson, and Howie goes all the way for 6 points. Beautiful catch, and look at Big Howie pick him up and lay him down. Head coach Sid Gilman has a word of encouragement for Howie as he comes off the field. Jack Kemp will give any defensive outfit a fit. Here he can't spot a receiver, decides to run. And then points out his blocks and moves for 25 yards deep into Denver territory. The Chargers' money back, Paul Lowe, once again proves his value as he skirts the left end and goes for 27 yards before Bud McFadden, the great Denver lineman, finally drags him down. Jack Kemp now spots Royce Womble. All alone on the 5, hits him, and Royce goes in for the score. Spectacular play by Kemp. As he's falling, he flips to fullback Howie Ferguson. And Howie gets 15 yards. The Charger defensive team was one of the finest in the league. Watch their importance in this game. Kapuka back to pass. It's intercepted by Maurice Schleicher and returned deep to Denver territory. With that great defensive team setting it up, the offensive team comes in to finish off the job. Kemp this time passing to Norton, and it's good for a touchdown. And the Chargers clinch the Western Division by beating the Denver Broncos. There's the score, 41-33. For the final league game of the season, Western Division champions, the Chargers met the Titans of New York. New York was assured of second place in the Eastern Division. One of the great runs of the season, Lowe starts around right end, runs into trouble, completely reverses his field, and races for 25 yards and a touchdown. There's a close-up of a great halfback, Paul Lowe. Kemp now takes to the air, spots Dave Kasurik, and it's good for 21 yards. What a competitor that Kasurik is. Again, Kemp takes to the air as Norton catches his pass. The Titan defender misses Don, and he walks into the end zone. One of the key to the Charger success this year was defensive back Jimmy Sears, one of the great punt returners of the league. Watch him come back this time to set up a Charger touchdown. A hard man to bring down, Mr. Sears. One of the most improved players in the last half of the season was Don Norton. Here he catches his second touchdown pass from Jack Kemp. Fullback Blanche Martin, formerly of Michigan State, was on the receiving end of this Kemp touchdown pass. As you can see, Blanche came to an abrupt stop thanks to that goal post. Halfback Freddie Ford shows he too can carry the mail. Rambles 14 yards to the New York 5-yard line. Kemp now on a keeper play, skirts the right end, and outruns the defense for the touchdown. And the Chargers finish their league with a record of 8 wins and 4 losses, so it's on to Houston and the championship game. The first championship game of the new American Football League. The Chargers, winners of the Western Division, travel to Houston, Texas to meet the Oilers, winners of the Eastern Division. The Chargers' most explosive runner, Paul Lowe, finds daylight and rambles for 30 yards. An old man of football, Ben Agajanian, puts the Chargers in front with this 22-yard field goal. Once again, it's Paul Lowe, this time for 20 yards around right end. And as all season long, Lowe proves to be one of the great running backs of football. Paul Lowe is called upon to be the Chargers' workhorse today. And he was up to the call, this time around right end for 9 yards. One of the other big guns on the Charger offense in the championship game is quarterback Jack Kemp. And one of his favorite targets is end Dave Kasurik, shown here teaming up for a 33-yard pass play. Right down the sideline. Paul Lowe slants into the end zone for the touchdown, but the Chargers lose to Houston in the championship game by a score of 24-16, but it was still a great season. The Chargers in their first year were one of the most exciting of the American Football League teams. One of the defensive backfield standouts is Dick Harris.
The Chargers started in Los Angeles in 1960. And let me tell you, that first season here was no joke. We were just a couple plays away from winning it all. My name's Dick Harris. I was an all-pro defensive back for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Owner Barron Hilton and every member of the Charger official family have only one goal in mind: a championship team that the fans can be proud of. In future years, new stars will join Jack Kemp, Paul Lowe, and Ron Mix, as well as the other boys who performed so valiantly in 1960. Charger football is exciting football. Well, you haven't seen anything yet. Well, you haven't seen anything yet.